What's good, y'all? It's Ali back at it again with another YouTube video in which I give you guys mental models so you can use to become extremely successful and accomplish all the goals you are after. So let's get right into it. So today we're talking about advice because naturally when you're trying to achieve your goals, you're trying to become great, you're trying to reach the peak of your masculinity, you want to seek counseling, you want to be able to make the right decisions or make the right plays in order to accomplish your goals. You want to gather the right intelligence, which I actually briefly talked about in my decision-making video that I made yesterday. So I'm drop the link below so you guys can watch that so you can get faster at making decisions so you can reach your goals quicker. But more importantly, speaking about today, so when it comes to advice, you want to seek it. You want to be able to get good advice so you can make good moves. So what does advice really mean in the context of you achieving your goals? And it means only listening to men who have achieved what you want to achieve. Okay, this is ridiculously important. And there's actually a lot that can be taken out of this, right? So when you want to achieve your goals and you want advice or you want counseling, of course you want to listen to someone who has what you want, right? Because to achieve your goals, you need to develop beliefs, perspectives on the world, and you need to take action and put effort in ways that will get you what you want, that will get you the goal. And someone who's already achieved what you want to achieve understands this. That's why they have what you want. They don't have what you want by accident, more than likely. They were willing to put in certain types of effort and believe or have certain perspectives that allowed them to get there. So you want to get these beliefs and perspectives and be able to put in certain effort that will get you that goal too. So you should only be listening to someone who bare minimum has what you want. See, what's ridiculously important, and this can actually just help you when it comes to not giving a fuck about what other people think, because all men want to. We want our independence. We want to not give a fuck. So this is a quick way to make sure you stop giving a fuck about what other men think. Because average men live average lives, not because they're incapable of becoming extremely exceptional or living an exceptional life, but because they have average beliefs, they have average perspectives, and they're only willing to put in average effort and make average sacrifices. That's why they have the life that they have. So the thing is, when you're listening to the perspectives of these men, whether it be, and not even just men, just anyone around you in general, even women too, which you listening to women's advice, that's so stupid. But anyway, whether it be your parents, the bum ass friends that you're around, anyone even in your family that does not have what you want to have, you shouldn't really listen to them at all, because while they're not having bad intentions with giving you advice, of course people want to help you out. Someone trying to give you advice is a very good thing. There's no issue with that. But the problem is they can't give you good advice. That's the issue. They want to help, but they can't really give you good advice. Why? Because they haven't done what you've done. And as I was just explaining earlier, that means they can't give you the exceptional beliefs that you need to have to achieve your goals. They can't give you the exceptional perspectives on life or seeing life in ways that helps you accomplish your goals. And they for sure can't tell you about the effort and sacrifice it takes in order to accomplish what you want to accomplish. They just can't do it, right? And if they try to, they're only going to be able to give you bad advice, naturally, because they haven't seen it. They haven't done it. So why would your dumbass be listening to anyone who has not achieved what you want to achieve? Bare minimum. Why would you do that to yourself? You're basically saying, let me go listen to people who have no clue how to do what I want to do and value their opinions and thoughts. That's stupid. So right now, what you want to do is stop giving a fuck about anyone who has not achieved what you want to achieve. Literally don't care. And what would be very controversial about this is, even if they're saying something that makes sense, even if they're making complete sense, even if they're saying something that sounds kind of valuable, don't care. Don't give a fuck. It's way too dangerous. That's the problem. It's way too dangerous. Because they might be able to say something valuable, but it might be around a bunch of unvaluable stuff for you, stuff that isn't really necessary for you. So it's better for you in your mind, especially to gain independence in your mind and stop giving a fuck about what other people think so you can become exceptional, to just not give a fuck. Like, just look at someone, they start talking to you, be like, has this nigga done anything that I want to do? No, all right, I don't care. Not that you have to be rude or malicious about it. It's just kind of like, all right, okay, cool, and just move on. like in one year, out the other. Because this ensures that your mind is only taking in valuable information from men who have done what you want to do, right? So when you have guys that have achieved what you want and they give you advice, you bare minimum get advice that is useful for you. And also, as a disclaimer here too, I'm not saying every guy who's achieved what you want to achieve is going to give you the most insane advice ever. You know, some guys are better doers than they are teachers. Like some guys have just achieved what you want to achieve, and they're not really the best at explaining it, right? They ain't busting the whiteboard out like me and being able to break this shit down to like a science or whatever. But even when they speak or even interviews they've done, they still say things that are ridiculously valuable, right? They're going to say things that you can still take and use for yourself that bare minimum would help you a lot, you know? But then there is some guys that you can listen to, especially on the internet, bro, who make content maybe like this and have achieved what you want to achieve. And you could just listen to them directly and it's like, bet, this is such valuable advice. And then you just ignore everybody else, you know? You definitely want to limit it as much as possible down to, okay, who's achieved what I want to achieve and is the best at teaching it too. Because then it's like, okay, this is the only guy I need to listen to. Everybody else is like, who gives a fuck? They haven't done what I want to do. So they can't give me the exceptional beliefs and perspectives and tell me about the exceptional effort and sacrifices that I have to put in order to win. You know, this is what keeps your mind super clear, bro. Because when you only listen to guys who've done what you want, your mind gets so clear. So that's even just the actionable step for today, guys. Just listen to winners. That's it. Just listen to winners. If they have done what you want to do, you can bare minimum listen to them. This doesn't mean they're going to be the best teacher ever, but you know you can at least trust their word more than pretty much everybody else, which is the point here. You don't want to have to give a fuck about anybody else. You want to keep it very limited. This keeps your mind very clear. It allows you to think. You remove all the average dumbass opinions out of your mind, because average men and average people can't give you exceptional advice. They simply can't. Not because, you know, they're malicious. It's just they can't because they're ignorant. They just don't know. So of course they can't help you. So when you only listen to winners, you give yourself a chance to bare minimum act like a winner, which is the whole point of this, because you want to be a winner. You want to be exceptional. That's why you're watching this video. So yeah, man. So let me know how you niggas felt about that shit. Does that really clear things up for you when it comes to advice and listening to people? Now, when you're moving around, you're like, okay, this nigga doesn't have the type of money I want. This guy doesn't have the status that I want. This guy doesn't have the skills and abilities that I want. So who cares? Who cares? Who cares? This pretty much takes out a hell of a lot of people. I know you're probably thinking about it right now. You're like, damn, actually, this pretty much means I don't even have to listen to anyone who's currently around me right now. Because especially if you're at the beginning of your goals or your journey or whatever path you're on to achieve a particular goal, like pretty much you can look around and nobody who's currently around you, and 90% of people on the internet have not done what you want to do. So it's like you can just ignore pretty much most of society. There's like 5 people, probably like maybe 5 people, 2 people who've done exactly what you want to do. So you can just ignore everybody else. And it's like, boom, your mind's so fucking clear right now, right? So if you fucked with this, you're like, oh, Ali, this is such a bet. Now I'm only gonna be listening to these guys and I'm gonna ensure that bare minimum, I'm gonna be on the path to achieve my goals for sure. And I'm not gonna fuck up or make a bad decision because I was listening to some bum or some average dude whose life I never wanna have, right? So if you fuck with that, like this video, bro. So more guys can see this and know who they should and shouldn't take advice from, of course. And I know some of you guys are sitting here right, well, Ali, you don't have the shit that I want to have. Fuck off, bro. Stop being a little bitch. Stop being corny. I know you corny ass retarded motherfuckers are thinking that right now, but I'm different. You just like me. You know, just try this shit at least. Okay, just try this shit. You know? So if you fucked with it regardless, you know, like the video so more guys can see the shit. You know, make sure they're getting advice from the highest quality advice possible so they're acting in the best way possible. And of course, subscribe. I love dropping videos like this because this shit not only makes y'all better, but it makes me better because it reminds me to do this shit so I don't fall into the trap of listening to somebody who's a bum or doesn't have the shit that I want to have, because that's stupid. I don't want to fuck up like that. So subscribe, like that shit. More guys can see this. We can grow the fam to be super massive. And with that being said, I'll catch you boys in the next YouTube video. Deuces.